while Aurora still hungry to look for that first championship.
It's one of those things that you're hoping works out the way that everybody imagined. Because don't get me wrong, as much as I love SRG, as much as a Malaysian I am, I believe that Aurora deserves an opportunity to actually make it to a grand finals, to prove themselves on the world stage. Too many fans out there have made their voices vocal, and all I have to say to you is look up. Because when you look up, all you're going to see is lights.
But also when you look up, you see the Giants. Sounds weird that I'm the one talking up SRG, but historically, I think there is a discourse that people aren't talking about. This is the most dominant form of a Malaysian team that we've ever seen in the history of MLBB esports to date. And if I may say, in the near future, I'm thinking like 2029, 2030, teams will still struggle to follow what SRG has done. And here tonight, they're about to make history. You know what? Contrary to my own prediction, I think they might be the first team in the grand finals.
Also, you're predicting Aurora, but right now the vibe, you feel like there's a deep feeling in your gut that this could be going SRG's way. Of course, SRG chases a historic breakthrough for Malaysia, while Aurora looks to maintain the Philippines' dominance on the world stage. The Northern Lights of the Philippines versus the Conqueror of MPL Malaysia. Just to remind you all, the story of the M series. In M1, it was Indonesia versus Indonesia. We got the legendary Myanmar versus Philippines series in Burmese Schools versus Red Esports. And then, after that, just a whole bunch of Filipino flags and Indonesian flags. We have yet to see a Malaysian team in the grand finals of M series.
And I think, this is going to persist. There's a reason why everybody looks towards MPLPH as the dominant standard amongst the big three. And yes, Indonesia was part of the question. Sometimes other teams do show up every once in a while. But at the end of it, who ends up becoming the champion? It's always the Philippines. And that's why when I look at Aurora and after the game against AE, it inspires confidence on a different level. Because not only can they break out of the textbook, they have evolved from the textbook.
Talking about a different level, last night we saw SRG be taken to the limit by Aurora Turquie. And tonight I'm scared of who Aurora might face because this is a much stronger SRG. They learned a lot.
Yeah, they were definitely testing against Aurora Turquie. But when you go up against one Aurora team, what if maybe you're facing the same Aurora teams? But first, you can watch a few clips as it's going on in your screens right now. Of course, just to remind you, Aurora's journey here, the series against Alter Ego. I think it was unanimous, the feeling amongst the community that they did evolve. Trex put it together the best, I feel like. It's the butterfly coming out of the cocoon, finally realizing your new limits, the new forms of what you can bring. For SRG, because of them being tested against Aurora Turquie, should we be a little bit more worried about what they bring to this series? Or, as you mentioned, do we really just look at the positives of, hey, them being tested is actually good for them?
I think it's the latter. We're done worrying. We've seen what can happen if a team from out of Southeast Asia plays this tight. Last night, SRG walked into the arena and people were saying, oh, this is an easy sweep, whoever comes out of AE versus Aurora, that's the real challenge. No, little did we know that was going to be a 5-game slobber knocker. And that might have been the last thing that SRG needed to unlock their full potential, to finally get into world champion mode.
Then why was their unlock so underwhelming? Why did it feel like they have to struggle so hard? And even when they turned into that beautiful butterfly, nobody was stunned with that performance compared to Aurora on the opposite hand, who is also going to get hope and information from Aurora Turquie. How? Well, they're part of the same organization. They share information. Clearly, there has to be a strategic advantage when you're this close.
Well, when we saw that M Series Grand Finals list previously, it's a lot of Philippines and Indonesia, Philippines. But this adds another chapter of Philippines versus Malaysia, the rivalry that began in MSC 2024 when SRG defeated AP Bren and carried over by the SRG versus Team Liquid Philippines Grand Finals in MSC 2025. A lot more analysis is going to be coming your way. We're going to be diving into the details. But as always, it's time for us to dive deeper into the stories and the feelings of these teams as we head into this match.
It's fate at this point. SRG took down Team Liquid, took down Aurora Gaming, and now they're up against Aurora Gaming PH. Another Filipino team, another Aurora.
Gusto ko namin makalaban sila kasi dito namin sila nakakalaban sa ngayon pa lang di kami magkakalaban.
SRG has a history of winning Filipino teams. Falcons 80 Brand in MSC 2024 and Onyx PH in MSC 2025. But they won't beat Aurora in M7.
Against Aurora Turkey, it reminded me of our first MSC, right? Where we actually had the same tough situation against the very same team. And at the time we went 3-2, and then we learned a lot from the game. After defeating one Aurora, we're going to face against another Aurora, but we will make sure to turn off their light.
In the past, I would have said Aurora Gaming, a Philippines team, would have been able to take it. But SRG has been the most dominant thing we've seen this coming M7. So for me, they have to be the favorite.
Yes, I would like to get revenge on SRG because they beat Aurora and Liquid. In PH, I was in RST, not in Aurora. We were called like Kingslayers, you know. So we took down some champions and also someone who has winning streaks in MPLs. So it's normal for me to be called a favorite slayer.
I think being able to go to the grand final is going to mean a lot to me and my team because last year we did not manage to achieve it. We broke down in our hometown, but this time we want to make sure that we are in the grand final and we want to win it all.
For the Monka, I hope you don't play jungler tank. Better we just play assassin so we can have a good match and have some fun.
This is the first time that we meet each other in international tournaments. So good luck and maybe pick more YSS and your chance will even be higher.
Everything comes down to this. Our first M7 grand finalist will be decided here.
Demonkind! Womankind!
You see the lights in the sky, but can you hear it in the distance? Yes! The footballs of the Giants!
SRG! 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 Goons and crab enter the stage!
The unstoppable Red Giants!
Innocent and Zentai to hold up the region! The Maze Prodigy, Stormy! Standing taller than ever, the conquerors of MPL Malaysia, Selangor Red Giants!
A lot of SRG fans in the crowd with Auroras have come out in force as well. We've welcomed the players and we've welcomed the teams. And you see the beautiful faces of the crowd here ready to roar for either Aurora and SRG. But we have to welcome in the coaches, guiding them through this match. For Aurora Gaming Philippines, on your screen right now, they have Coach Master the Basics. For Selangor Red Giants, it's Coach Arcadia and Coach Ozora Vecchi. They're going to be guided down by Gary Our Marshall as well. Get a good look, as only one of these two teams will make it to the grand finals first. Philippines versus Malaysia. We don't have the same length of history as Philippines versus Indonesia, but it is a rivalry to watch out for. Tennis indoor, I want to hear you make some noise!
Impressive how the Auroras from all around the world, mostly from the Philippines, have come out, flown out to show support for their team because they are but one best of 5 away from making it to the grand finals. A best of 7 to take home the whole damn thing.
The pressure continues to rise here in Indoor Stadium Senayan. Family, friends, even the fans feel it. One of these teams will be crowned and making it to the grand finals.
Let's look at the lineups again. We have to look at the Kite brothers for Aurora Gaming PH. Tommy Kite and Demon Kite are integral to their play.
Now, most people are going to be looking at these guys and saying, hey, why are these names so similar? What are they, Shotokons? No, absolute monsters in their own roles. With Edward Demon Kai, Yue Light, and Domen Kai, the Turtle Demon Kai, the Turtle Slayer, number 1 with a total of 21 among all players in M7, tied with TNZ.
And a very strict diet.
He only wants neutrals. That's what he's going to get.
That's where the protein's coming from. And that's what that's the kind of jungler you need in the jungle to be able to take care of the whole map. And that's what Aurora's main strength, the fact that they take care of all the lanes and they play such a foundationally good game of MLBB. It's hard to take them down. Number 2 in all total assists in M7. That's Light.
On the other side, Light will have to go up against Yumes in the Roam, who has been stellar so far in the M Series.
Keep in mind that Yumes is literally just behind Light in those stats. And that's not all. Even Innocent and Sakai's are putting themselves up on the leaderboards.
That's right. Innocent is number 2 in total kills next to Sekais and Demon Kite. They're all tied. But number 1 is Sekais. 57 among all players in M7, not just in their role. I'm looking at the guys. I'm putting a spotlight on him, also known as the Sky Prince. His breakout performance in MSC 2024, his first time in Saudi Arabia. I want to see this young man shine because last night it was all about Yumes, it was all about Innocent, it was all about Cram. Tonight, I want to see the Sky Prince fly.
I don't see that happening here, not when you have the statistics to back it up. The fact is, Demon Kite is going to be securing a lot of these neutral objectives with the rest of his team. With an early game-centric play, this is what the meta demands of us now here at the tournament of M7.
So now that's the major question, potentially heading into this matchup for SRG. Can Sakai's shine and rise above expectations? The rest of the 4 members of SRG have had their fair share of stellar performances. Yes, Sakai's has had MVP performances, even pointed out by Demon Kite in the introduction with YSS. We don't really see him carry the team. It's the rest of the team making sure that Sakai's is comfortable enough to farm, and he'll be there. I'll give that to Sakai's. He is very dependable.
Well, I mean, dependable is one thing, but how many games had he thrown? How many games had he bought 6 minutes given over to the opposing team?
I'll tell you now, 2 last night, 2. And you know what they say about second chances, right? He had a 3rd chance. And fortunately, that's all it took last night to unlock another level of play for his team and in the metagame. I don't know if it took this long, but last night, my eyes were opened. Finally, I am a Leomord believer. I want to see this hero come in. And I think, you know what, that was a little bit of a smoke and mirrors, what Demon Kite said in that interview.
Yeah.
Like, yo, pick Yosu Shinmore, you might win. Did he watch that performance last night? I'll be the first to say, hey, yo, real talk. Maybe avoid the East shit. Takes a little too slow to come up.
Yeah.
Play the Leo Mord.
Exactly. But that's the thing. Aurora Gaming Philippines has also shown off that their Leo Mord can be an option for them. Yes, we did not get to see it as that early to mid-game snowball dominant hero, but the fact that they were able to play a Leomord in the lineup that also had a Claude with it, held on despite Demon Kite losing the jungle, losing all of his farm, yet still got to turn it around after as much as an 8,000 gold lead by Alter Ego. That just shows how much Aurora has grown.
I think better yet, Aurora is really well positioned against SRG. They saw the composition that they played against Aurora Turkey, and I think they're going to take full advantage of the information that they got, on top of the fact that I think that Dominkai right now, while he is not only flexible, Innocent ain't going to have an easy time.
Hey, Innocent was first to the front line. Innocent was who invited everyone to go, hey, yo, look, jump on the Sora bandwagon. It's real. So with that said, I think we have to look at elsewhere on the map. Have we talked enough about the mid lane? Yes, we know Stormy's Farce is scary. Will Aurora play with the fact that they might trade for that? Trade for the Eve, trade for the Zoo shit. Because we know that this trinity of heroes in mid are still what dictate the pace.
Here's my counter argument. If we're not looking towards the mid laners, you got to look at the supports, because again, Yums was a very big detriment in the first two games of their previous match. I don't know whether his performance is going to maintain, considering that Light has been able to bait out battle spells with just his presence.
That he was, I'll admit. Just like Isun Shin on Sekai's, Cho on Yums needed a little bit of a cooldown. So, if I may, Yums, focus on vision. Early in the series, if you can make sure that your team gets into the groove, your four younger brothers find their spots on the map easier, then you can go that route. With what kind of hero? I'd say something like I was just say Cho. You revert back to the easy hero.
Yeah, just go for it. I mean, both of them can play it really well. Okay, Sora taken out, Juicing taken out as well. Will SRG just default into picking up a Kalea Rush here as their first pick, or a Claude maybe if it's going to be open? Considering that they banned out, and look, SRG, I feel like they struggled so much with the roam mid trio of Aurora Turkey yesterday. Look at the bans for SRG. They take away the Eve, as mentioned earlier. They take away the Grok, very disruptive to anyone. And they even respect ban the Fredrin first sight blue.
Loyalty in a dead
I like
Oh!
And this is what I was wondering, whether the first pick was going to lean back into what we saw the past couple of days of Claude, and how exactly are we going to go around it, whether you have access to Sora or not, both of which have been taken out. So the flex picks are kind of out of the question, leaving SRG only with Leomord. Now, Leo, you're the Leomord believer here. I'm on Aurora's side. I'm thinking, what's the disruption that we need? And I think it's the signature Cho.
That's right. Again, just as important as it is for Yums to get the Cho, it's important for Light to take it. And again, you use the D word, disrupt what this Leomord does. That's the worst thing in my 18-hour study of Leomord. Hands-on, I'm a new convert, folks. I suggest you pick heroes that kind of stop him from just rampaging through the front lines. And this is a good alternative. Instead of the Cho, the Kalea. How about you hug? Wait. Yeah, no. You hug that Leomord even before he gets on that horse, and you take him out.
So, Leomord getting rush picked here. The control of the Kalea. SRG, will they double down on picking up their mid laner? Because I feel like the mid laner trade is going to be getting smaller. The Lunox Farsa are still going to be open, but then after that, you're going to have to go into the nicher picks like Lo Yi, if I really think about it. I'm sure Aurora is even thinking about the Lo Yi right now, considering that they have the Claude with them. A pick that combination that opens up the map well. SRG are leaning hard into the very aggressive lineup. This is SRG showing, with the Frey and the Farsa rounding up the Leomord as well, that they want to take control early.
But just as important, I think Rora have allowed these two picks, more of the Freya, because again, you don't just pick Claude blindly, assuming that your opponent won't do this. So that's why I like the Kalea. The Kalea answers both the Leomord and the Freya.
I'm all for it, right? But at the same time, now that we see that the Farsa is already in, this was the expected pick from the side of SRG. With a lot of burst on their side, with a lot of fighting and diving power, I think what Aurora need right now is a frontliner, somebody who can actually peel, somebody who can look for that information rather than sending in your boy Light into some dangerous territory. Yes, I will admit that at least the Battle Mirror image can get things done. This Boxia might do even better.
Okay. So Aurora get one of their most stable picks in MPL Philippines season 16. They love to play aggressive with this. So it's going to be Aurora matching the aggression of SRG in the hopes that the lead doesn't swing too far to SRG's favor, because that's always the risk of Leomord, Freya, and Farsa together. That Domingkite will have space to farm. That's going to be the main focus of Aurora here. But that means they need something else in the mid lane as well to make sure that you have that bridge to go to the mid to the late.
And you need a combo with the Kalia. It's kind of weird, just like, all right, I'm gonna Tsunami. What are we doing with this? Because the Box and the Cloud aren't that.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of heroes that can actually fulfill that role at this stage of the game now that the major ones have been kind of taken away at this point, right? If we're talking about just like raw bursts, I don't think we're going to go into the Selenas just yet, but there's still a possibility of it, right? Because priority is important. When you have a Boxia, what's the worst thing that you could be doing? Sitting in your own jungle and farming? No, you want to be farming in an opponent's jungle. And I think this time, Aurora, now that we've kind of seen a little bit of the mid duo, we've already seen what Domingkite is going to be put on. They might lean into the EXP just a little bit more. Compromise Sakai's, and as well as Cram, this game gets significantly easier to get on top of Stormy.
Got him lined up in my sight.
Okay, SRG still decided to ban out the Kimi. Yeah, the Kimi could have been a good bridge for the mid to the late game for the Claude, but I feel like it is going to be lacking that impact that they would need, because that would mean that the mid trio plays as if Demon-Kite front, Light, maybe just try to appeal for the Kimi while the Kimi's trying to free hit, which doesn't scream impact to me. That's a little bit slow compared to the Leomord, Freya, and Farsa together. But what I do like is that Aurora, in terms of their mid lane options, they have a deep pool that they are willing to play into. We've seen it. Yue is very dependable, no matter pick that you give to his hands.
Very good bans here, for the side of Aurora. They don't want Cram to sandbag the lane, specifically with Glue, who's able to disrupt, and more importantly, just make sure that Boxia can't get in and out of the fights really, really easily, which does leave a lot of dive lane EXP laners, Yuzong, Lapu, still wide out in the open.
Arlott, you can also what SRG needs now are like heroes that are okay with holding down either their lane or just taking it to the face. That's what the Gatot is, that's what the Glue is. So Aurora are reading into that. And by taking out the Glue very specifically, yes, you still have the Arlott and the Lapu Lapu open,
Praise the stars.
but I think they're protecting a possibly soft mid lane.
Yeah, it's got to be Kadita, right? What else kind of fits the bill to work together with the Kalia, something that can maintain that lane, not knowing what Yums is going to play exactly, while still being able to kind of bleed its influence into the side, right? You don't necessarily have to win the lane, you just need to hit level 4.
There was a very American voice that in my head that sounded like it said savior. What about that?
I don't know how possible a new hero from out of nowhere might come. I hope that voice appreciates when I say Gord is more likely. Because you need a battle mage. You need a hero that is kind of ready to go. But I like this more. This makes more sense. We didn't have to go too far.
Yes, we didn't have to go too far, but the big issue with Lunox is that, again, the Feathered Air Strike completely outranges her. However, there's a lot of snowball capabilities with Rora now, right?
Yeah.
If Yue gets 2 kills within the first, let's say 6 minutes, I'll be generous, 6.5 minutes, holy, this game is going to really close out quick.
And it's a good enough dynamic. You need a hero that can kind of both be there and not be there. That's what the Brilliance gets you. That's what the Darkness dash in and out gets you. So there is some play there between her and the Farsa.
Yeah, and the Kalia and the Lunox together are quite difficult to kill in the center of the map, especially when the minions are there. Both of them just have so much regen together. As expected, the aggression through SRG. They'll pick up the Cho and they pick up the Lapu Lapu. SRG, they're not hiding anything about their lineup. They want to go full aggro. That's why they took away the Lo Yi as well. One of the best picks that could have stopped in terms of crowd control and damage. Edward's pick here needs crowd control. This is what's severely lacking right now from the side of Aurora. If you just go Alice, no. I don't want to see the Alice Lapu matchup against a lineup that is very full on early to mid.
Gonna get kicked and shoved 6 feet to the ground so quick.
Oh, Glue got taken out as well. Uranus doesn't have enough control. There it is, Arlott.
Huh, wow, this is the most... Okay, you know what? If Aurora are willing to say, hey, Edward, we're not going to be able to give you too many resets, do the work, sir. Edward nods his head to his coach and says, yes, I will.
Another look at the final 2 lineups. You know what I'm I have this weird, strange optimism towards the Aurora lineup, despite the stats telling me not to feel that way.
It has better utility. There's a lot more things they can do when they decide to do it, while Aurora is just playing with sheer firepower.
Keep your eyes on Sakai's and Cram, because I think that's where Aurora are going for the attack. If they can surgically remove them from this game, man, expect 13 minutes. That's when it's going to end.
Game number 1 in this best of 5 series. First winner, first entrant into the grand finals of the M7 World Championship. Naisu and Mirko to call the action.
All troops to
Call the action, we shall. Here we go. Jumping into the land of Dawn. It's a best of 5 and a ticket to the grand final for one of these teams here. It's me, Naisu, and Mirko to bring you this action. And now, man, I'm going to tell you what. These are lineups that at this point make clear sense. The Arlot, interesting that was the last pick, but have to agree with the panel on how they kind of went about this and that what the Arlot will provide. And you can rely on someone that's Mr. Consistent, man.
Yeah, when you have the Baksha in the jungle, when you have a utility jungler, you want to have a little bit more damage, a little bit more carry potential on your XP. And that's exactly what you get when you have Edward on the Arlet, right? Like, even though most Arlets, and I think even Edward here will probably go for just the Fury Hammer into tank, that's enough damage. You deal enough base damage, and it's all about the resets, which Light can get you too, and he's already doing a good job in the mid lane with Yue to pressure Yums and Stormy.
Yeah, the pressure that's going to happen here early on, especially in the mid lane, is going to also come from Light, like we just saw, especially when the Tsunami Slam is available, and they can kind of rotate around that. Again, with this dangerous grass map being a little bit faster, Light's going to just provide some information and get on out of there. This is one of the things, though, that we have seen throughout M7 is that Claude building. Oh, Dominkai. Okay.
By Innocent there.
Yeah.
Straight into the BMI after. But who got the gold crab? Did you see?
I didn't. I think it was Dominkai. I could be wrong. I think still. Oh, whoa. Mid lane?
Yeah. All in over the Skies. And he baits the Phantom Steed. Skies wants to go in, but asking the Jeet Kune Do, landing on 2, but no further initiation. So Aurora Gaming Philippines, they got what they wanted. They wanted to just bait out the Phantom Steed. Now it's going to be Edward. Not a bad spot. Too clean with the Vengeance.
Okay. Demon Kite's there, too, around the corner. So no push through or follow through there. Turtle's going to be up now, though. So plenty of members on both sides here. We'll see some rotating. Whoa, mid lane.
All in there. Valkyrie Descent coming down. Innocent taken out by Yue and Light. Great read on the rotation is in the bottom lane. There's a bit of skirmish. Edward jumping with Vengeance again. Cram going for the slices. Now with a stun as well.
Oh, he gets stunned. Edward's gone, and now they're going to be going for more as Light falls. They're still going.
Now it's Demon Kai pocketing the Poisons. Yue going for the Brilliance now, but Sky's going to be on it right now with Feather Airstrike as well. Purify to get a bit more movement speed. Sky's going to go down a Demon Kite.
Wow, it is a bloodbath. All before they could even go for the turtle. They go and get a couple kills on both sides, 3 for 3, and a little bit of extra gold over to SRG off that turret. Man, this is what we've been seeing today, Mirko. I mean, just a whole lot of fighting even before an objective is taken.
We have leveled up in the M Series game. And again, this is what having a Swiss stage and then a double elimination gets you in a tournament. There's so much time for these teams to understand the meta. And even if they don't, they can go through that grueling 0-2 bracket, 1-2 bracket, so many more best of threes you can play to understand the meta. And honestly, that's how we get to see the best MLBB possible.
For this first turtle, I'm not sure if they're going to be right for it. Whoa, we got to go back here.
Yeah, the way the dragon there was used up. Now good stun from Edward. Final slash as well. The turtle was already taken out. Edward jumping with Vengeance again as a Valkyrie Descent will deal a lot of damage with Creek Crab as well now. Tsunami Slam coming down. Sky taken low. He gets the kill.
Yue's gone. Seki's is next. Sakai's goes down. And they disengage. So it's a trade. The 1-for-1 actually here. Turtle secured though for Aurora Gaming Philippines. Man, these fights for the turtles breaking out, the adjustment of the meta so far that we've seen. I mean, it's all kind of brawly, but still, you're talking about a Baksha versus a Leomord at that. But then you also have a counter over in the gold lane, right? Innocent later on should be able to go ahead and help beat out Dominkai unless he scales up enough. Okay, little BMI.
Yeah, that was a bit too close for comfort though now. Phantom Seed, Cram gonna be walking up as well. Edward, able to space away. Can he get away? Sky is just going for it, and Cram, popping the recalls as well.
Cram's like, you see that? I hope you could see that, Edward. Edward not having the best time on this Arlot right now.
You want to get Edward angry though.
Hey, Right now, they might be angry in the mid lane. That's a Tsunami Slam bringing down Yumes.
Good stuff from both these teams. Selangor Red Giants really punishing the small mistakes that Aurora Gaming Philippines were making. Again, Edward walking up too aggressive with no vision on the map. And it's the same for Selangor Red Giants, for Aurora Gaming Philippines, I mean. Punishing them on the top side river, noticing that there were members rotating into the bottom lane. It really comes down to where you find advantages on the map and how to utilize it in every single situation.
Yeah. Again, with this kind of build-up already in the early game, you've got some of those first items locked in, of course. A little bit different path here for our mid laners. You going with that glowing wand. He's going to need that to help with some of this sustainability that comes out from this lineup from SRG, but also the lightning tranche it there for Stormy. Stormy has been on fire for the most part in the game. So the kick.
Reggie Kundo on the way to Dragon again. On top of that, Cram actually stole the XP grab, so a little bit more damage on top of the physical one. It's mental damage now. It's going to be Light walking up now with the help of Innocent as well with the Valkyrie is set. Now Tsunami Slam to bring him under turret.
Oh, in trouble. Hume's trying to get away, disengage, but he falls to UA. But Turtle secured by Sakai's. So all part of the plan, at least to get the objective. So they traded out. Man, I'll say this. It's okay if Humes goes down and trying to set up a play. Edward, on the other hand, he has been having a hard time. So I think the question is it, do you want to get Edward mad? I think at this point he's mad, man. Like, you know, but what we have seen with Arlots when they are picked, wow, look at the damage, by the way, from Stormy on this Farsa. Back to the Arlot is the final slash UA. Oh, wait, he's got brilliance.
Go for the stun. Flicker as well, purify out. The slash has come down under tier 2. But was it worth it for the shutdown, though?
I mean, is Cram just trying to make a point or what?
That has to be it, right? I mean, you kind of want to just assert your dominance, but I feel like Aurora are the type of team to be like, sure, you can have the dominance, bro. We'll take the shutdown. It's all G.
I mean, I don't. He's 4-1-2 now. Unnecessary death just to assert the dominance or not. You know, might get checked here.
Yeah, Tsunami Slam, instant Purify coming down now as Yumes is able to go for the way the Dragon over on Demon Kite. Pops in Poison's in time, but look at the damage coming through over on Demon Kite still. It's Edward trying to save him. Demon Kite caught in the bad spot. Oh, they do one from Domang!
Oh, and they're still going Crab trying to run it this time after losing it 2 members in the fight. Aurora Gaming Philippines. Hey, you know what? Forget Edward being mad. The whole team's mad.
Oh my goodness. Stun coming down. Cancels out Light's jump. Now has to go back into that wave, but the turret in the mid lane falls, and Aurora finally get a lead in the game, like an actual 1K lead now.
Actual lead. Domang Kite as well, by the way, has just been able to go ahead and farm up the way that he wants to. On this Claude, we're already starting to see that damage come through. Turret's going to fall mid and top. So now you've got the space to work with if you're Aurora Gaming Philippines to go ahead and lead into this next objective. Turtle comes up, last one of the game, and they'll get in position. Once again, Yumes has continuously done this, setting up with the Cho, but this time it might be a little bit tougher. Domang rotating down too. He's going to go ahead and clear out these minions in the mid. But look at the Light, trying to set things up potentially here before this Turtle even breaks out.
They really want to shut down Innocent, dude, and they've done a good job at that. In this game so far, Edward can be caught for the airstrike coming down as well. Edward, oh! Positive Vengeance right as the way the Dragon came through, so it got canceled. Now Edward in the back line finds the final stock one again. It's Innocent who goes in, blazing duet coming in from Domang. Innocent barely spacing out to position. It's Crab going through, CC immune. He's got, gets the stun on 3. Skies walks up, not enough damage.
Oh, Domang Kite chasing him down. Sakai's, he can't escape the guns. And now another to fall as Stormy goes down on top of it.
The instant burst goes to Selangor Red Giants, but the long team fights go to Aurora Gaming Philippines. Domang Kite again. The guy who we've been talking about, I think, for the most part, right?
Yep.
When can he step up? He's stepping up now, finally.
Hey, that's what you do here. Now he's going to get another turret. He's got the Trinity locked in under the 10-minute mark, too. Taking a look at the replay here. Again, this fight was started up.
Beautiful.
And you'll notice Innocent jumping in too. Cram goes in, doing what he does best on this Lapu Lapu, but the fight gets separated here.
And it's all about the little things in the fight because, again, they were able to bait so much time, bait so many resources because of Edward. Yes, he's 0-4-4, but that vengeance to cancel away the Dragon, him just staying alive for a bit more, really baited out more resources that Selangor Red Giants were comfortable to actually use in that team fight.
On top of that, a little bit more damage here for UA, picking up the Divine Glaive, and that's crazy that Edward's able to do that, man. Even after going down multiple times, He's got an Oracles, he's got the Fury Hammer, like you mentioned, some tough boots, and then he's got the Ice Shield, pretty much, right? Like, and that's just how the R-Lot works, especially with the Brave Smite emblem and that Festival of Blood. So it's a little finicky to try to kind of kill him. Oh no!
Stormy pops into Purify, but Demon Kite goes for the chase. That's a stun. Outpoise sounds coming down, and Stormy will be taken down under turret. Cram and Skies going at it, but it's only onto the Baksha as Humes will lose his life. That's a stun onto Demon Kite, but he's still alive. Now Light coming in with a healing tsunami slam. Domang!
Oh, and again, they're trying to get away. Cram under the turret. Demon Kite chasing down. There's the follow through as they pick up 4 kills for Aurora Gaming.
Aurora Gaming Philippines are striving in the chaos. You wouldn't expect to hear that before you watch today's match.
Ooh, that's the adaptations that we have seen throughout the Swiss stage until now. They're playing a different game, and it's funny because it's a utility jungler, right?
Oh,
Okay. Well, Lord secured. Salangar Red Giants are going to have to wait on this defense. They do have decent clear, but man, I feel like this Freya pick for Innocent just hasn't been able to do much in this game. A lot of times when he pops the Valkyrie form and he goes and jumps in, he's pretty much just taken care of really quickly here. Because of the front line position from Aurora Gaming Philippines, even the ability to go ahead and bait out some things with the brilliance from Yue, it's just a whole lot to deal with. And again, if you're afraid and you're jumping into the fray of things, Edward is there, man. He'll final slash you for the team. A Lord's going to go ahead and charge in the mid. Holy defenses are still up here as they pop in the mid lane. Aurora going to choose to force a fight.
but the airstrike there. It's a tsunami slam to catch Hume. He's going to be caught. Vengeance already down. Demon Kite was able to take him down there. The Lord will be cleared out. Innocent can't go for the Valkyrie Descent anymore. You already used it to clear up the wave, and Rora want to go for round 2 into the mid lane. Base turret they go. Yue already on it, trying to siege it down, and they will crack. The base turret open. Domang doing so much damage. Has to respect Stormy, though. He's been caught by a few of those skill ones. Man.
Yeah, that's still impressive, though. First Lord, already a base turret down. Sometimes we see teams just with the First Lord, they'll get the holy defenses down, if that. But one base turret down for Aurora Gaming Philippines. Take a look at the items here, too. You can see the gap between the gold lanes specifically, man. 3,000 gold for Domang Kite right now. He's got the Wind of Nature, too, building into the next. And also on the other side, you've got Demon Kite with quite a bit of a lead.
And like, this is the thing, right? You pick up the Freya to counter the Claude. The fact that the Claude is 3,000 gold ahead. Oh man, it's gonna be really tough. Innocent might have to use a Purify here at the start of the fight. Valkyrie sent backward, Purify out of Tsunami Slam. Yumes going to the back line, but Domang again able to go for the win and Dragon from Yumes.
And they're still breaking out Yue, trying to get away. He pops the Brilliance, and Stormy on the wings will engage.
Ram going down to Edward. Now it's just Stormy. He has the Purify. That's a shield unity into the Purify out. Edward won't go in. They'll hold the lines for now, but there's 18 seconds on Yumes, and Rora are knocking on the baser up top.
They're still going to go Edward, final slash of the minions to help clear them out. But they might just have enough time to take out a base turret. And off of that initiation, now 2 base turrets down for SRG with the Lord coming up in 30 seconds. Aurora Gaming Philippines has essentially controlled the course of this game already up to this point. And for SRG, are they going to choose to actually contest against this Lord? They've got firepower, man. I mean, especially like we see them with a Pharsa in their hands, but it just seems like all the options that they had in the early portion of the game have kind of run out here.
That fight earlier was a bit too close for comfort, I feel, right? Obviously, Aurora Gaming were still able to get the win, but the fact that it looked really good at the start, and then Yumes all of a sudden was able to get away to Dragon onto Domang, putting him in a tougher spot and actually shutting him down. That means Salangar Red Giants, they have ways and avenues to actually still outplay a Wind of Nature, Purify up Claude.
I'm just wondering, man, at what point are you able to turn the tide completely here if you're SRG? You know, Malefic Roar now picked up for Innocent. Sometimes it might just be able to get enough damage off, you know, on with utilizing this Freya pick. Lord's going to be started up. Look at the positioning from Aurora Gaming Philippines as they go ahead and spot things out. Light has the flicker available. If he chooses to set things up, that can work. But this is also something you always have to worry about with a Claude against you, is if there's an off-lane push. A quarter of the health here on the Lord.
Valkyrie Descent coming in. Now it's going to be Light. Still able to dash away. Sky's going to go for the Retribution now, but he's actually going to go on Edward instead as Demon Kite wins out the Retri battle. Yume's able to flicker around the safety and out for the air strike!
Ute! Oh, and Innocent jumps in. It's a shutdown on UA. Sakai's able to find Demon Kite's in trouble.
The minions are at the base. Edward going to go into the bottom lane. He's going to try to barge in through as the minion is still there, but the turret is still alive, so Edward won't risk it. They'll instead back away. At the end of the day, it's 3 for 2, but Aurora won out the Lord. Innocent able to pick up a tier 2 in the bottom lane as Edward's too afraid to go 1v1 against the Beast.
Mirko, I asked, when is Innocent's Freya going to be able to pop off, find the right targets, and with that play around the Lord, yeah, sure, they lost it, but like you mentioned, they're showcasing that they can team fight against Aurora Gaming Philippines. And now they're going to go ahead and finally get some of these turrets down. They'll take down the tier 1. Up top is nearly down as well. And that's what SRG needs, man. They need some space to work with here in this game. And I'll tell you what, it just seemed like everything had to fall into place for them in utilizing this composition. You see in here, I mean, their fighting capability is really good, especially around objectives, right? You've already got, like I said, Stormy's already pretty much damaged. He's where he needs to be in big damn department, dude. He's got Holy Crystal, Divine Blade, Lightning Truncheon, and working on the next tier. Same thing with the Freya, and now to the point where you have some defensiveness for Yumes, where he doesn't get blown up on a kick. Oh, Demon Kite jumping in.
Great Shunpu to cancel the shield unity, and now they're all in with Cram jumping with Raven Spider. But look at the Tsunami stop catching these guys in the back, but he's able to dish out a bit more damage in the end.
Oh, they're going to chase down in the jungle. Does Demon Kite decide to go? They're going to re-engage.
Cram able to flicker out. Innocent jumping away, able to get the knock-up down. Stormy goes in with the Blazing Dew and a double for Yue. Now it's Yumes caught in the bad spot. Yue actually dies. Aurora are also low. Cram and Stormy able to clear out the waves.
They can clear out the waves. I mean, even with... Oh, Cramp jumping in. Final Slash going to be used. Edward just keeping things here. This is too risky, man. They're so low health for Light and Demon Kite. What do they want to do here? They're going to heal back up with a Surge of Life. They're going to try to push it in.
I think that was a mistake. Now Cram doesn't have to bring a Spider. He's trying to hold out the waves. Tsunami's time to take him away from the waves. That's the Final Slash to cancel the airstrike. Stormy is trying to defend, but it won't happen. There's too many waves in the base. Aurora Gaming Philippines takes game number 1.
What a game 1 to start us off in this best of 5. It was a bloodbath. Just how it should be to get to the spot of the grand finals here. But man, oh man, Aurora Gaming Philippines and SRG put on a showcase. Just when you thought that Aurora Gaming Philippines was going to take that game completely in their control, Selangor Red Giants showed what is possible, what they've done many times before, man. I mean, if you guys watch the Swiss stages or any of these games from SRG in the past, you have seen what they're capable of doing, but this time, Aurora Gaming Philippines made it work in game 1.
It was the constant build for Aurora. Again, despite SRG's big win, they couldn't get the Lord, and therefore, they didn't have the waves to really capitalize on that win. On top of the fact that Aurora could be like, all right, we can reset, we still have more of the structural advantage to utilize. Those base turrets ended up being massive because look at how many minions just kept pouring into SRG's base.
Just an amazing game here to start out the series. Almost could have been anybody's game, really, but man, we're going to have to let the panelists break this one down because game 1 was intense. Let's see what they have to say about game 1.
Oh no, TP pa! It is probably what Edward was thinking there in the end. Reminded of the little duels that he had with Crab all throughout. I will admit for a second there, I forgot that I was on the English broadcast. There's 2 Filipinos close to this setup here.
You're sandwiched.
Yeah, I'm sandwiched. Oh, what a victory by Aurora, but damn, what we expected, the aggression of SRG really tested Aurora early on, but they had the right heroes to deal with it.
I think better than that. I will admit there were some things that I did get wrong. I unfortunately it wasn't 13 minutes, it was a little bit longer than that. And more importantly, the heroes that they were targeting, the roles that they were targeting, not exactly what I thought it was going to be as well, right? Because this time, SRG starts attacking on the opposite side of the map, and it's clear that Aurora was making sure that Innocent couldn't play the game, on top of bleeding that lead even further by neutralizing Yumes in the mid-game. And I think that was a very good decision coming in for Light.
I hate the dogpile on the already precarious situation SRG is in, but you're right. Where they decided to attack and the pitfalls that I wish they would dodge in the draft, they kind of walked into. Number 1 is they decided to play on the utility spectrum. You know what I mean? They let through the Baxia, but they banned the Fredrin. They played the Leomord, and again, between a Leomord and a Baxia, like who's really going to do good when it comes to trench fighting and major objectives? It's the latter. And not just good in taking objectives, but also getting a lot of kills. I can't believe Demon Kite was close to getting double digits in that game. Second is, you mentioned Edward.
Yep.
And we're looking at Cram as an anchor for the game. I think it took so quick for him to forget that he needs to hold down the lane and to do more than just win duels and these little ganks. And again, even when they were losing, he kept on picking fights.
Yeah, we could call back to the mid lane where Cram, yes, he went after Yue and it tempered the farm a little bit, but eventually Yue got to quickly get kills and eventually caught up. But Cram ended up giving up Shutdown, which gave Aurora just a little bit more gold to catch up to SRG. Just a little bit. It wasn't a major swing, but at this point of these two teams, every little detail matters.
Yeah, no, I think people can debate about it, right? I personally think that actually it was cash money, right? Giving over a shutdown over to UA, sure, it's probably not the worst thing in the world, but at the same time, what did he get rid of it? What did he get rid of? Number one, he got rid of both alts. Number two, he also got rid of the Purify, which could have potentially set up for a later play for Yumes. We got to be thinking long-term here, because even when we look at the draft, right, the Arlet felt very independent, and it felt like Coach Dexter and Master of the Basics looked at him and was like, I'm sorry, you got to take your licks.
Yeah.
And after he took those licks, neutralizing the Freya became so much easier when you have a Boxer on your side who not only mitigates her damage, but at the same time reduces her most important ability, which is to sustain through it with her auto attacks. Not to mention, Arlet, consistent CCs. I'm not going to let you auto attack for free.
Yeah, I'm going to even swipe you away when you get in range. And I think that's one of the keys here. You stop the half-man, half-beast from just becoming a beast. He's just, what's up, man?
Yeah. I mean, we were looking for a little bit more crowd control from Edwards Arlott, and yeah, eventually down the line, it was utilized really well. But with Light and Yue together with the Kalea and the Lunox, I think that is one of the biggest reasons why a lot of these trades happen in the early game. We talk about the healing provided by Kalea and, of course, the self-sustained healing of the Lunox. When it came to the big fights, I think Yue saving the Brilliance, saving the first ability to be able to heal himself, and then maximizing every Darkening so that Chaos Assaults are extra hard for the counter punch. That's why for majority of the early game, it was like 2 for 2, 3 for 3, and Yue was standing, or if he goes down, he takes a bunch of bodies with him.
And that should be the game plan every single time. Because again, it's a very precarious situation when you're trying to play at the edge of the Feathered Airstrike while still mitigating the overall damage. I think that UA played one hell of a game here. And not to mention, Light as well. Great peeler and great eye. Really small details he was picking up. Oh, you shouldn't put a little too early. Tsunami Slam instantly.
But at the end of the day, it's still Doming Kite as our MVP. There's two kinds of MVPs, ladies and gentlemen. Setup and payoff. Doming Kite was the ultimate payoff MVP. He literally picked up everything that everyone set up for. We already mentioned Demon Kite, Yue, Edward, Light, and what, 7-8 minutes? Like, before the last turtle, he was already coming in with lethal blazing duets.
Yeah. I mean, this is what the condition we laid down for Aurora. As long as you can keep it close so that Domikite has space to farm, that's your dream scenario. And that's exactly what happened with all the trades that they kept forcing, that they were somehow able to get wins. Once that first big blazing duet came in, it became like a harsh wake-up call for SRG of, wait, we did not disrupt this Claude enough. Where's this damage coming from? This early to mid-late game is gone for us. We now have to just keep duking out and try to hope that we win team fights.
Well, but that's the thing, right? As much as Doming was able to get a free lane, he was playing a strong laning phase. He was making mega impact in the backline, making sure that Stormy is always feathered air striking at the maximum possible distance. All of this was enabled by Demon Kite. Where's he going? Looking to initiate, not only to get on top of this Pharsa, but poses the question to specifically Sakai. Hey, I will pose the question. If you do not initiate, we will get an answer very quickly.
And the initiation from SRG is, how do I say, fragile at best. If you don't get a perfect kick from Yumes, they have to find another way to get at you. They have to find another way to find an initiative and to go into proactive position. And their only secondary way to do that is I'd argue with Cram. But Cram is too busy going into the back line, hunting down softies.
And that's why this entire game boils down to, hey, the question is who needs to initiate? It's never going to be Aurora in these cases. It's always going to be SRG because of their draft.
Yeah, and Light eventually read that so well. As much as you'd want to be the one setting the tempo with the Kalia, Tsunami Slam after Tsunami Slam, the surprise initiations with the Tidal Strike, a lot of value from the ultimate of the Kalia in this game came from the fact that if someone decided to reach the back line of Aurora, whether it be Crab, whether it be Yumes, you've just wasted your dash trying to entry while I Tsunami Slam you and you have no way out.
And that's why in that moment, about 2 or 3 frames back in the Lord Dance, Light was so willing to just show himself. It's because he knows that it's never on me. I just have to wait for y'all to make the mistake of crossing this threshold. Amazing understanding of macro dynamics and the team fighting just back and forth, the give and take. I don't know if these stats are true, but ladies and gentlemen, the matchup between Lunox and Farsa in mid is still, I don't want to even say heavily, it's literally Lunox favored, 0-7.
It hasn't been going too well for Farsa in these types of matches. Again, both scale really, really well. Both have 2 separate ranges, but one has iframes and can also become a machine gun when the other is just artillery. At the end of the day, SRG is looking to try and go for the takedowns, right? Aim for the knees. Rora just got to judo that weight over to flip them on their back.
Really like sports.
I love it.
Well, I couldn't think of a sports analogy. I'm gonna get you guys
That was
later.
too quick.
Yeah, that was a bit too quick. I was thinking of like, okay, what am I gonna dish out for the next analysis? Sports references. All right, let me write this. Nope, I was way too invested into the analytical point, and now I've completely lost it.
No, I think that's exactly what happened to SRG is they were committed to team fighting because that's, again, at the heart of it all.
Yeah.
Sure, Malaysian MLB has been influenced by heavy macro, but y'all still like to fight.
We like to fight. We're the in-betweeners between the two, well, I mean, the 2 big regions of Indonesia who love fighting.
They love fighting.
And PH who likes to take it cool, calm, collected, but there is purpose. Finding a good balance in between the two is why I thought initially maybe SRG was posed very well for the meta, but it seems like Aurora, they've broken the ceiling.
Yeah, the difficult thing also with how Aurora decided to draft this, and the lineup that SRG eventually fielded, I didn't have problems with it. It's just that it seems like Aurora was able to prepare the right heroes to deal with the main thing, which is the burst of the Farsa. Farsa tries to burst someone, but you have so many heroes that can survive burst. Yue, even if he gets bursted down, can still get so much value by using Brilliance out and still being able to Chaos Assault. Light will be able to provide the heals. It seems like the only ideal target is if they could completely burst Dominkai down and then majority of the Aurora damage is gone. But then they still have a Lunox to play through.
And that's the thing. They cannot burst Dominkite down. He's so slippery. He has a Purify, he has BMI, and I don't know what the last words were before their coaches left them after the draft, but I'm pretty sure it's, you guys know that we're playing for the counterattack. And that's the play style. That's the principle throughout this whole 16-minute game. I was watching the fight, 10 seconds in, I'm looking at SRG, yo, why is no one dying, right? With all the damage, why is no one dying? And I look at Dominkite, he still has Blazing Duet. That's how well Aurora understood the dynamic here. And I think SRG should do well to reset going into game number 2 and consider maybe playing a little more to the spectrum of macro.
Well, I don't know, because again, I think the draft was really well done for the side of Aurora, right? Because let's have a little bit of empathy, right? You know, let's put ourselves in the position of this Farsa on Stormy, the Mage Prodigy. What are you scared of? You're scared of a Blazing Duet. You're scared of a Final Slash. You're also scared of getting Tidal Strike or Tsunami Slam. That's a lot of abilities you have to keep in mind while trying to be able to artillery the backline.
That was the bird.
Oh, so you were very... I was wondering, it's like Farsa doesn't flap.
You're
Wait,
Farsa.
Why am I Farsa? Why can't I... I'd rather be the bird than... Actually, no, I'd rather be Farsa. That's fine.
Decided.
Well, SRG, I feel like this is a big warning shot. They started off this series with an idea of let's be aggressive. Let's show Aurora that, okay, we mean business. We want to destroy you guys. But they couldn't get that, and Aurora counterpunched perfectly. So now I'm interested to see what will happen for the next few games of the drafts, whether or not SRG will decide to put Innocent out of the fighters and then maybe lean a little bit more towards the marksman as well to be able to carry, or will they still double down on this idea, just refine it a little bit. But before we move on with the games, of course, as always, we want to say thank you to some very special friends of ours that we love so much. we all know M7 would not be possible with Secret Lab. Secret Lab is what's keeping the tushies of our players all comfortable and warm as they're playing on the stage.
Now imagine all the legendary moments you've seen here at M7. Every single time you've made a play, every single time you've seen a championship go into the hands of these players you see before you, what are they sitting on?
Secret Lab.
He's got it. And not only that, the Titan Evo allows for ergonomic ways to sit on this chair, multiple different comfort zones on it, not to mention the GU leather on top of it. Hey, you're a sweaty little boy. You don't get to sit on my Secret Lab. I want to make sure that GU leather lasts until the next generation.
It's not just for chasing world championships, it's also for climbing up to Mythic Honor, even higher. And of course, it's there to elevate your tournament grade ergonomic support. The very same that, again, these pros are using on stage.
Yeah, so get yourself a Secret Lab. Scan that QR on the screen right now for a little bit more information. But I've got some information as well that a lot of y'all look really cool in game. Except for the Cyclops SpongeBob, so you guys don't look cool. You guys just look pretty funny. But still respect to you. I'm just jealous I don't have that SpongeBob skin. But I'm not jealous of the Patrick glue users because I have that myself. And people say I do look like Patrick, which I take as a compliment, not an insult, because he is hella cute. So don't forget, it's available in-game now and don't miss it. You do get stronger as a glue when you use Patrick. It is scientifically proven.
Women love him. Boys wish they could be just like him. Get your Patrick skin here today.
I don't think Patrick has ever lost on the M7 stage, has he?
He has,
unfortunately.
I guess I'm just blind to the fact that Patrick loses, because in my mind, Patrick wins.
It's the nostalgia. It gets in the way. It's like fog.
Yeah. Did Patrick lose that fight when he fought SpongeBob? When that wrestling fight?
No, where they got buff?
Yeah.
No, they just hugged it out.
All right, it ended up in a draw. Okay, but clearly this is not going to end up in a draw. There can only be one winner here. And in this game number 2, this will set the tempo, because remember, this is only a best of 5, ladies and gentlemen.
It is best of 5, but I think that the blue side draft right now is kind of getting a little wonky, right? Because again, these are two teams who have elevated both blue side and as well as red side. SRG initially started off with saying, hey, blue side clock, we've solved that problem. And now the elevation from Aurora on the red.
In my opinion, it's less about blue side having trouble. It's more of a blue side having flexes that aren't being used. We've seen a lot of teams in blue play weird and decide to change up where they shouldn't have. Here, I think, in game 1, again, hindsight is 2020, SRG may have decided too hard and did not flex in accordance with Aurora. They let Aurora dictate so much from red, which is why now going into game 2, I think it wouldn't hurt if they were in either side. I just want them to make smarter choices.
Hey man, the sheep are only going to follow the shepherd. They got rid of both the CC alongside with the natural counterpick Sora, which is what we were expecting Innocent to eventually get his hands on. Without those two flexible picks, they really have to just be nurtured into the pen.
So let's see who's going to be taking the blue side, and if that might continue the trend of the a little bit more problematic side in the draft, as the red side seems like low-key they can just determine a little bit more. SRG still sticks with a blue.
That's what I'm saying. They know that they had more choices to make in game 1, and they're saying, we go again.
Okay. Did they speak to the last one? Still a Fredrin ban.
I'm thinking whether or not they have to take into consideration getting rid of the Boxia as well, because that Boxia absolutely shut down the Freya.
Yes, just to encapsulate all of our opinions on the box and it going to the Leo Ward in game 1. Just avoid the utility matchup.
Yeah.
Force Demon Kite to press buttons better against you. Sakai's you're not a much younger player, but you're a younger dude. I think your fingers are faster.
I don't know. I feel like Boxia is one of those heroes which require you to have a high APM just because you're just spamming it every half a second.
I take that as a compliment. Thank you.
Spam those shields.
I got hundreds of games on Boxia. That's
If you miss-time that shield unity jump, you're screwed, bro.
I feel like I'm 15 again.
Yeah, you should add a TZ to your name when you play Boxia.
Oh,
that's the next Lancelot.
That's the only way to play this game. Now, Grok getting banned out on the blue side. This is still following towards the general standard we were expecting from blue side bans. On the opposite end, I wonder if Aurora is going to do something similar to what they did yesterday, right? It's a matter of escalation, slight adjustments. They don't. If it works, sure, we don't have to fix it, but let's make it a little more complicated. Let's make SRG think a little bit more.
If SRG decides to ban out the Claude here, that could be a big sign that they're going to lean towards the Eve first pick. Or if Aurora don't even ban the Juicin, then SRG will have to think, okay, which one do we get? We get the Juicin or the Eve?
Yeah, CC, Lucian, or Eve might be open, or we revert back to the Baxia.
I'm still going to double down on the opinion of SRG should take away the Boxer, though.
So you'd rather have the mid lane gamble, like just trade that. Like, okay, it looks like the gloves are off in mid.
Yeah, trade the mid lane. I mean, both of them already showed that they're willing to trade it out, but again, coming from MPL Philippines, Aurora's Boxer just hits stiff and they do respect it.
There it is.
I like it. I like it a lot. Thank God that Sakai's not looking at coach saying, "Sir, give me Baxia." Nope, ban it out.
So, ban the CC here.
Mhm.
Go for the Zushin Eve trade.
Okay.
That's probably their best bet, right?
Yeah.
It's either you leave both open or you ban both. There's no in-betweeners here.
Oh, actually, yeah, Aurora might be leaning a bit more towards with backline heavy static and then Assassin in the jungle because they banned out the Hilda as the second ban in red. Probably already projecting to SRG that we're expecting you to ban the Baksha.
Oh.
So now we're going to go Assassin.
That is some I know you know, but what am I?
Yes, do you know we know that they know.
There it is!
They do know.
They do.
Really good call here, but now the first pick is going to be what matters the most. Two mid laners are wide out in the open. The counter picks towards them might be a little bit all over the place at this point because at the same time, we still have to answer the Claude question.
I'd say Zushin. And the Claude question is still alive, you're right.
Yeah.
Freya Claude Freya.
Born by thy wish.
There she is.
There.
I
I really like the Juicin first pick. I know that Eve is a great hero. She's really feared, but I think with the playstyle of SRG, with how Stormy likes to move around the map, that's a little bit more SRG in by my books.
Yeah, I'm guessing that this is going to be Eve Claude because if you're giving one or the other, it's just natural counter matchups.
But there's no need to rush the Eve.
Yeah. If they want, they can get greedy with it, get both your carries. Oh, wait, no, you're not going to go YSS, Claude. That's way too greedy.
You go
Someone win with that.
Claude Kalia? Claude Kalia, Claude Cho.
I like, generally, Kalia, I think I really like. Oh, but what if they took away the Hilda and then they just go ahead and pick up the Cho? Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm also thinking whether Khalid is going to be an option here, but if they go with the safe opening of Kalia alongside with the Globe, which I'm totally fine with, but SRG, are they still going to go back and revert to that Freya one more time?
Oh, yeah, that's the really tough call here by SRG. Are you going to have enough crowd control to really chase it? I think if SRG are expecting that Aurora is going to go Assassin, then they take a page out of the Aurora playbook. Pick a Khalid here.
Into the Kalia. Okay, I mean, the Khalid is really good at helping the Jushin kind of move out of the lane, which
Yes.
is all for. The question is, what do you pair it with, right? Are you also looking to try and have a deterrent to the real world manipulation that you should be expecting coming out in the following turn, right?
Yeah. So they do get the Freya right away.
They didn't want to risk the whole Freya gets banned, Granger gets banned. Now what do you do in a sense?
Still, they're going to go for the Leomord. So it seems like the only thing that has changed is the mid lane pick. Instead of the Farsa being a bit more static. This time, of course, having the juice it means that your team fight is a little bit more stretched out. You're not relying on making sure that the feathered airstrike hits. And if ever Stormy builds a Sky Piercer, then that's a lot of value for your aggression.
It's a better re-engage.
Yes.
So they're investing more in the what if this fails. SRG, they're iterating. It's not exactly reinventing the wheel from game one, and I think that's a good start because for a good part of game one, they were actually winning.
Yeah, which begs the question, right? Do I want to see Aurora play the Farsa, or do I want to play the Eve, or do we just go back to going into Lunox? They're going to take the Eve straight off the bat just to make sure that they can peel for everybody else, but that does mean that they will need some raw burst damage in other departments.
Yeah, is the burst going to be coming through the EXP then? And the jungle? There are a lot of the jungle picks that take time. I mean, they can still go for the Lancelot. We've seen the Lancelot. It's as long as you're not allowing the Leomord to go overboard and you, the roamer in mid, are being aggressive, taking the pressure to the Leomord, then the Lancelot will just have the space to farm. Exactly what we saw in the Team Liquid series earlier against Sonic.
Maybe SRG looking to kind of ban out other jungle heroes, just to kind of put Demon Kite, force him onto a Yi Shin of all things. That way it's like, oh, you don't have a choice. Your presence is pressing one button until you have 3 or 4 items.
If you go YSS, then that's going to take so much time. There's only going to be say maybe one miraculous EXP lane pick that can turn things around, and that's the Lapu Lapu. Because if you lose early on, that late game is looking at 14, 15 minutes for Aurora.
Yeah.
Is there room for another Arlet Redwood?
I'm thinking, again, Mr. Consistent is so good on it to the point where I'm like, he can just be independent. He will be fine as an independent player. Gwyn gets banned out. And this is what I'm expecting from SRG. Get rid of the other junglers. Force him on the Yishin Shin.
This is one of those picks that overlap between both Auroras that they played with. Last night, Aurora Turquie. Tonight, Aurora Gaming PH.
Is it a Harley ban next?
You know what?
Yo, what if Demon Guy shows up with a Harley, man?
Not too crazy. That is not too crazy. Again, we're talking about if a usage is too slow. How about a hero that literally just needs like one item, 1.5 items, to start bursting fools down?
I don't think it's the worst idea in the world, but I think that Aurora is also taking...
Right. I'm glad that we mentioned it, because what if it does happen?
I mean, there's a possibility, don't get me wrong, but at least the Gato gets banned out here. Really, really good stuff from Aurora on this second half of the ban.
Joe Gato ban screams Joy pick, but they really shouldn't.
I mean, they can if they want to, because at least with Joy, you can get in and out and kind of run circles around everybody else, except for the Zushin once the stacks are full. So it's one of those things where it's just timely attacks.
Isn't that a little bit more complicated to then handle? I mean, I'm one of the dudes who always look at it as, okay, after analyzing which lineup is simpler, if Aurora go Joy, the SRG lineup is significantly simpler compared to the lineup of Aurora, which means in the big picture, easier to pull off in the team fights and in map control.
Oh, good.
Dang, this is some tough stuff. As much as we talk about the meta, as soon as we just start talking about the big regions, and more importantly, as we get closer to the grand finals, the qualification for the grand finals, as a matter of fact, it's so targeted towards your opponent.
With all the theories thrown, not really throwing away all the theories, it's going back to the key theory of it all when it comes to this genre of video game. Whatever they're most comfortable with, we don't want to go up against.
I think this is just going to revert to like a Lapu Lapu.
Yeah.
You can't Uranus. I don't think there's a room for Uranus here.
I would have liked the
I don't think it's that bad, because Esme's a lot better here. I think that SRG, because once again, Esme does well into both Lapu alongside with the Uranus. I think it's the most over-encompassing EXP lane.
It wins whatever's left
Yeah.
out there. Okay. But this also still doesn't close the door on Harley.
Uh-huh.
Or a Lancelot. You know, those are just safer.
Oh, man.
I think Harley Kite.
Is Harley Kite real? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Not until I see it up on that screen. That's when I'm gonna believe it.
Okay, brother, more Filipinos are watching this match. If you play Harley here, we're gonna have to deal with that back in our server.
Tonight's RG ladder is gonna be weird.
Okay. Uranus.
All right, these two picks almost instantly block out the Harley. Yep, like all the more they should not do it, but just the same, I'm here for it if they do, because they can just kind of ignore these two big chunky dudes and burst down the softies.
I personally feel like it's actually quite worth going for. You should, like, what are you supposed to do, right? Oh, Fanny! Of course, Fanny, but at the same time, you're already playing into the high loss, and we saw the last time that Fanny showed up. That 1 second makes the difference.
And they did it. It was them who stomped out Fanny.
But we also have to consider this time around, the Fanny isn't against a Claude, it's with a Claude.
No, the ego pick. This is This is Kite saying, Coach, bigay mo na.
Yeah.
This is for the season in Malaysia.
And they got it. All right.
Coach, give me the Fanny.
Is that ego enough for you to say that you're leaning towards Aurora for this draft?
I'll give the benefit of the doubt to Aurora, sure. You don't do that when you're not sure.
Gideon?
I'm gonna say, knowing and witnessing Demon Kai on this Fanny before, I've got high hopes. I'm going Aurora on this one.
All right, let's see if it is going to be going towards Aurora to go into match point, leading this 2-0, or will the little adjustments of SRG be enough to turn this into 1-1? Nice, Sue and Mirko, what do you guys think?
I'll tell you what I think, guys. I'm going to have to say, I like the adjustments from SRG here with the lineup. It wasn't too bad from the last one. I feel like the adjustments with the high-lows, bringing the high-lows, for example, was a good switch-up. Now they've got the Uranus as well. What do you feel like, Mirko?
I still feel like Ram on the Lapu Lapu would have been a bit better. It's just he needed to take a chill pill a bit, you know? A few of those shutdowns, a few of those deaths just really felt... okay, the recalls were necessary, super necessary, but the deaths were, right? You can have Flare, you just can't give the bounty over to the enemy team. But with the CC that they have on Yums and Stormy, I understand why they just put him on Uranus. And this time, take a look at that. Innocent.
Yeah.
Vengeance on the Freya. Red tree win for Skies, obviously, on the Leo Mord for the lethal.
Okay, take a look at the. Oh, hold on.
Wait a second.
Demon Kite
Oh my god.
gonna just take this away.
Sneaky, sneaky.
No problem.
He's gonna take it. There's no way for Solano Red Giants to react in time. Demon Kite seals the purple buff.
Oh my goodness. Sakai's knows it too. He's like, that Demon Kite, man.
That guy.
That guy.
What a guy.
Hey, when you can cable on around and move like that, you might as well take advantage of it. I'm pretty sure you're faster than well, technically he doesn't have his Phantom Seed yet, so you are faster than him.
That's true.
Yeah, at least for now. But yeah, that's one of the things is if I remember right, Fanny's win rate was pretty high. There was a time, I know it's been played a couple more times since this, but when it was picked up 4 or 5 times, it was at 100% win rate. I'm not sure if it still is.
I believe it was high in the Swiss stage. Knockout stage, it's been pretty bad. Yeah, because like Han played it in this first match in the Swiss stage and lost. And I believe we saw a few more Fannies losing after that. Even Yuzuke yesterday, against Aurora Gaming Philippines. So Aurora are the ones now on the Fanny. Let's see if they're the ones to make it work. Good stun coming down over on live, but look at Demon Kite. Look at the cables there. Sky's playing with it so well. Heck, I would say Yums preemptive revitalize there. Didn't really need to use it.
He didn't need to. Maybe just kind of, making sure that better safe than sorry. Right now, they've got control around this turtle, though, so let's see if Aurora decides to do anything. Demon Kite's not even here, so it looks like they're just going to give it up. He's going to go ahead and prioritize the buff, which he should. Again, the Fanny's definitely needs that.
Yep.
So turtle secured here for SRG.
That's the thing about the Fanny, though, right? You're a good pick if you can get those early kills, then you snowball out of control, and then there's still a possibility that you make a micro mistake, which is very, very believable.
Yeah.
It's such a difficult hero to pull off in the biggest of stages, and this is it. Skies will not fall for that again. He knows to go for the purple buff before the orange buff. But yeah, I think for Aurora Gaming Philippines, they can take a chill pill. They have a Claude, they have a Eve, and an Esmeralda, so they don't need to be that far ahead. Light's going to be caught here, and that's a bit more troublesome. Skies bringing you it back, forcing to break around. Demon Kite comes in with the cutthroat, but again, Skies on Barbiel, too tanky.
I like how you're like, they can take a chill pill, and as soon as they're like full sending it into the mid lane, man. But I think it's still kind of just testing the waters here, at least for Demon Kite, to see if he can get some snowball happening on the Fanny. But again, you've only got the Fury Hammer right now. You definitely need to go ahead and scale up. They're still going to play into the whole game plan of let's let Demon Kite get to where he needs to be with the Trinity on this Claude. But I feel like even so, the fact that Innocent ran it back with the Freya, hold on, top side,
Concentration. Yeah, it's a Uranus. It doesn't really matter how much damage you have. In the early game, it's going to be really, really tough if it's a Fanny and an Esme. Though I will say, I think this is a double down by Innocent. Like, he's like, okay, I lost lane, which is pretty unacceptable on a Freya against a Claude, so I'm going to double down and go for vengeance. But having said that, Doming has gotten all the gold grabs, bro.
Yeah. Demon Kite very comfortable on this Claude pick right now. Looks like SRG wants to put their own pressure. Wow, Demon Kite actually going to be forced out of the jungle on that side. They're going to have to fight for this purple buff.
Yeah, the RBM was used earlier. Now Tsunami Slam blocks this guy's down as he pops in a Phantom Steam, but now it goes in! Too much damage for Aurora Gaming Philippines to handle.
Wow, you can't blade and cable and cutthroat through that. When you've got Yums in the way blocking your path, a glorious pathway on top of it, plus a Revitalize, you saw how healthy they were, and then again, you're fighting into a Jushin here. So it's not favorable for Aurora Gaming. I mean, they just got pretty much dismantled in that fight. There was no winning moment for them there, and now for the second turtle of the game, it goes over to SRG, plus a whole ton of gold down in this bottom lane.
There's no way to sugarcoat it, Naisu. They got curb stomped in the previous purple buff battle. And it's because of Cram initially going in. Oh, great stun on Demon Kite. But it was because Cram baited out RWM.
Yeah. And this is why the panelists were sharing their sentiments. I mean, even Gideon himself was like, yeah, I'm surprised. Still went with a Fanny, despite a Hylos here too. Oh, hold on. Light, is he actually going to pull the trigger? There's no way they do.
Wait, they go in, but it's onto Yums right now. Possible Glorious Pathway under Turret. Demon Kite still able to go for the cables out again, but look at the tempo on the map. Aurora are forced back. Meanwhile, SRG, yes, they do lose Yums, but they can capitalize on this by taking gold crab for Innocent, by really pushing the tempo even more.
There you go. Innocent getting the gold crab.
Finally.
I didn't think they'd actually pull the trigger on that, but again, when you can Tsunami Slam over the wall, you might as well. And so interesting here. Innocent, Cram, They're on a 1 and 2. Stormy also. Look at this pressure once again. Purple buff.
Phantom Steed, this time Light doesn't have the Tsunami Slam, so it's going to be free. Demon Kite, there's no way he walks up, right? Yeah. Skies with the red tree secures the purple buff, and there is no threat of a trade. Turtles up in 40. Demon Kite can only just go up top and look for farm in the side lane.
This is a feels bad, man, because Sakai's is like, all right, I'm not letting up anymore. Like, you got that first one, you took it away from me, and now you're not getting any of your buffs, Demon Kite.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening here. I mean, they're timing it perfectly when that purple buff does come up, and as you all know, you've seen it many times when the Fanny doesn't have the purple buff. It really makes it more difficult for Demon Kite here. Not impossible, but he is starting to fall even further behind. You can see him, he's 2 levels behind Sakai's right now. And that's just it's not a fun place to be, especially when that window of opportunity for a Fanny to approach this kind of composition that SRG has is so low. I mean, look at this. Oh no, they're taking everything.
Oh, the orange buff take, the green cap, every single thing, and even Cram earlier denying the minions. Forcing him back away now. Turtle will probably go to Selangor Red Giants, especially after Cram spots the Fanny going top again. It's a cut from Cram. And Skies is already going onto the Turtle right now. Edward getting poked as well. Purple buff will be up. So, oh my God, Stormy 2v1.
2v1, Innocent as well, and Demon Kite just duking it out here. But the Turtle for the taking, they got full control over it. And that's going to be 3 for 3 in the Turtles for SRG. I thought Demon Kite might try to pressure that purple buff from SRG, but instead he's like, let me at least get mine. But Glorious Pathway.
Again, over on Demon Kite finds the stun, RBM in the back, but Innocent is able to jump in with Valkyrie. Sent now on to Doming, who's able to BMI out. That's going to be the Crimson Beacon from Stormy, now going to be lifting Edward up, throwing him back into the fray. Everybody following it up, but Edward gets a flicker out.
There is just nowhere for you to fight if you're Aurora into that composition. Demon Kite finally swung around. He's like, well, I'll at least take this purple buff, man. Yeah, at least. But you're seeing it happen here, and I'm not sure how long SRG can maintain this advantage when it comes to the team fights, especially when they're all clumped up, right? You would think this is the best. Oh, you've got an Eve on your side, you've got a Fanny, but you're seeing them. They just don't have enough damage to really kind of get through that pressure that is with this lineup from SRG mid lane. Getting that flicker out.
All right. That's it. Really good win there. Phantom Steed for flicker. But yeah, I think for Selangor Red Giants, they can continue this pace all throughout the game, really. Because Demon Kite, he has a purple buff, but he's going to go in, get stunned up by Yubes earlier. And now the Falling Star move from Edward. Gets a shutdown down. And is Innocent now bobs in, but it's RWM coming down onto you as well. It's still Edward taking for free. Tsunami Slam purified out of. And Innocent wants to go for more. Demon Kite going to go back in. Blazing Duet, but Vengeance to respond to it.
Oh, they don't have enough firepower, even with a Blazing Duet from Demon Kite and Demon Kite going on through. You're just seeing how durable this lineup is for SRG, man. They're so tanky. Whole lot of defensive items here across the board as well. And that's just the struggle right now. That's the struggle for Aurora Gaming Philippines, and it's going to be for that. It's going to be that way for a while. Not only about getting these purple buffs, but getting the scaling that they need. Demon Kite, he's got Retribution. He's going to use it.
Skies wasn't there, so it's going to be free. But again, now, who's really going to burst the Uranus down? It's going to be Claude, for sure.
Yeah.
But we are quite far from that, I think.
It's going to be a minute and a half, probably, or at least a while here. I mean, you usually see that with the Claudes anyway. Usually they're able to get the Trinity before the 10-minute mark. Demon Kite should be close. But it's just, even so, like, even if he has those 3 items, if he has a Trinity locked in, it doesn't necessarily mean that they can just turn a fight in their favor. It's going to be difficult for them.
That's why earlier you saw the value that Innocent gets on the bench. Whoa! Now, Crimson Beacon just with Light walking up there. Innocent still holding the angle. No Demon Kite's going to be there. There's going to be a knockup coming in as Demon Kite's able to go for the cables, but he's going to be caught! Oh, clutch! With the cable to actually get away. Sky's already using a Phantom Steed, and now he's going to be back on foot. Oh, Cram! With a dive under tier 2!
That was a big move, and they're still going for the Lord.
Innocent, Father Vengeance going on to Domain. Blazing Duet, but it goes in through it. Innocent still climbing away against 2 members. Still staying alive for a bit, but gets void blasted down. Skies goes back on a Phantom Steed, now on Barbiel. It's a free Lord as Cram is still able to dish out some damage up top. Edward all alone, isolated, and taken down by the horse.
This Jushin pick is paying dividends in that draft for SRG.
Whoa.
Oh, are they going to go for UA? UA? Okay, he's got Flicker. He's going to be fine, but the turret's going to fall in the tier 1. And that was just a great fight from SRG, man. Even for Cram, You know, that one we'll accept right there. That is 100% worth. Jump into the turret. Oh, whoa. They got Demon Kite to fight for the purple, though.
Demon Kite.
All right, he's got it. But, man, dude, even if they have the purple buffs, it is just getting a little dicey here for Aurora Gaming Philippines. For this to work, they have so much ground to cover. Now, nearly 6,000 gold behind. It seems like those minor adjustments that were made for this composition from SRG from game one are really helping out. Oh, no. Demon Kite.
Oh, man. No damage whatsoever. Glorious Pathway now. Good falling Star Moon by Edward to stop him from going further. Now it's Demon Kite trying to get a bit more poking, but again, with Skies and Cram there, especially with Skies on Barbiel, that ain't gonna happen. Domain gets a win of nature, so at least there's that. But right now, the problem is they just don't have enough damage, and now you see why. Domain prioritized win of nature survivability over the corrosion side. Stormy just gets out with the Crimson Beacon, Phantom Steed coming down. You having to flicker out of the real world manipulation, canceling it, and now he doesn't have that.
Doesn't have that available. They are going to keep this Holy Defense shield up. There's no re-engage here from Aurora Gaming Philippines. They've just got to kind of buckle in and wait and get to the point where they have the itemization to really turn some of the tides in these fights. Because like you mentioned, Cram's doing a phenomenal job on this Uranus, playing up front, blocking a lot of things for them. And then Humes as well. Again, there's so much frontal threat. Oh no, Demon Kite.
Stun. Skies the Phantom Steed, and he gets the kill on Demon Kite. That's what we call the double horse on
That's the
Fanny
horse on
combo.
horse. That's two horses in one, man.
Two horses, one man.
That's man and horse.
But he's technically a half man, half horse, no?
Technically, there's
So that's
it'd be like a human.
we're not good with numbers.
Yes, we're not great with numbers, but you get what we mean, right? That's a whole lot. Now they're gonna have to deal with this push into the base.
Uh-oh, like when they grab again in the back, that was Stormy picking him up. It's a killing spree for Skies on Barbiel again. Barbiel has crazy stamina, man.
Oh, he's going and going and going, and right now they get what they want, everything they want for SRG, and it just seems like this is almost in that situation. I hate to say it, but it's like, all right, go next for Aurora Gaming Philippines, because there just doesn't seem to be much that they can do. They're literally in the situation where it's like you're playing for Domain Kite. Well, even if Domain Kite, now he gets the Corrosive Scythe. So he's delayed with the Trinity by about 3 minutes-ish plus. So that is not where you want to be. Again, he prioritized, right? He prioritized some defense because he had to deal with this, but it still puts them in a really tough position to even contest these objectives.
Exactly. And the initial delay for the corrosion side was already a delay on the power spike. Now you're going to have to get Melfic Roar before you really start to deal damage, because you need penetration against these dudes, dude. You can't go through Uranus without penetration.
Hey, you need the penetration, all you can get, man. Right now, Lord secured. Not much that Aurora Gaming in Philippines wants to do aside from put Demon Kite on the other side of the map, let him push the little as he can, catch up what he can. Now, you have to go ahead and look at this lineup as they get ready for the base defense, right? Like, what is the actual potential here? Oh, no. Demon Kite, okay, he's just going to cable on out, man.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I don't know if he's actually going to be able to get out.
Oh, he gets it. The read on Demon Kite.
Oh, they're all catching up.
Oh, my God. Everybody on Demon Kite. Now it's 4 dudes on the Fanny.
They just played a relay race with Demon Kite.
Bro, what? What's up with them and Fanny, man?
I mean, they were there with opening arms for Demon Kite, man. That is not what you want to be. And now with 4 members of Aurora Gaming Philippines, they have to defend the base.
Oh, my goodness. Cracked out that much damage on the Claude. Now it's about to descend over on Edward. Attack. A big knock. But Domain goes in for the blazing duet that does no damage. Flicker out as well. That's a Tsunami Slam.
Oh, Lord's still going to be worked on. They're still pushing in. They're defending for now, but can they end it?
Oh, Sky's going to go down. Edward's still there. Stormy with the pickup now, but it's getting the all in. And Stormy bouncing gives a big into it. Flickers in. Stormy going down. Oh, my goodness. Now it's Steven coming to walk up again. Innocent against everybody. Innocent.
Oh, and they're still coming. Innocent's going to the full Valkyrie form.
What?
He's still alive!
Oh my goodness, he gets a double Cram now, going in again. That's probably going to be another base turn as Cram is still here alive, and there's no one who can take him down for now but Aurora. How did they defend and get 4 on top of that?
Oh man, Aurora Gaming Philippines somehow defends.
No,
I don't know, man. Some way, somehow.
dude. It's just so sad. After that play, Demon Kite was like, finally a purple buff. He cables, and there's a small case. Like, damn it, man.
No.
Not even.
See, that's there's a benefit and a curse to being Uranus players out there, man. You're tanky as hell, yeah. But the curse is you got to watch majority of the times your team die because you're not dying. You know? It's kind of like having immortality. Like you're gonna see everyone grow old and die. Well, unfortunately, that's the life. Yeah, no, that's deep, man. You know, hey, fighting for the purple. Yuke's able to find it now. RWM, they're all fighting for it, but Skies and a flag goes for the flag, and look at the combo! So much AoE! Now with Slight to lose immortality as Demon Cat recalls Slight going down! And Edward can only dance to the death of the team here. Demon Kite is up, but can't 2v5 work? Edward, he's trying his darn best, but there's 5 on him. Now it's a Fatty again, who has to deal with 5 members of Selangor Red Giants. And they wipe Aurora Gaming Philippines out in game number 2. We are level on the board, 1-1. I gotta say, man, SRG games just keep delivering. I don't know what it is, but I like to see it. 1-1 in the series against Aurora Gaming Philippines, and those minor adjustments that came through from the draft just seemed to, work so well. There was a minor change here and there, but the execution was great. Not only that, but I do have to say, the Fanny picks seemed to just kind of shoot themselves in the foot for Aurora Gaming Philippines. It was almost too easy for Yums to just be like, I'm going to post up here, I'm going to stun you, and we're just gonna go from there. And then they passed around Demon Kai, man. It was tough to be in.
Yums pulled a KSI, bro. It was straight up, I'm on a horse. Dash. Take a look at me.
In the thick of it.
We saw him, man.
And he was caught in the thick of it.
He was caught in the thick of it, man. When you're trying to get away from 2 horses, it's just too much to deal with. 2 horses, 2 men, or 1.5 men, whatever it is. This was just SRG's game right here. Just well executed, phenomenal draft for them, and overall, just a game that SRG needed. Let's throw it over to the panel to break down our game 2.
Minor adjustments with major repercussions, and Selangor Red Giants even up the series after Aurora Gaming and SRG battled it out in the first game, back and forth. This time was clearly SRG's playground to shine with. Gotta say, picking up the Fanny, way too difficult to pick Fanny in that kind of lineup.
Okay, I know I didn't say anything, but I told you so. You shouldn't have done that. That was. Did I say it? I did. I said it out loud. That was ego. That was an ego pick, and it might have been too much to expect that it was going to work, especially in the face of a Hylos and the Hylos. That's it. I think the Hylos were the main pain in the side for this Fanny. Demon Kite was playing a different game.
I think there's a little bit more to it than just the Hylos being in his face. Because I was thinking, all right, yeah, sure, this is the ego pick, but this is Demon Kite of all people. He should be the one who's able to kind of get away from it all. So the question is, what was the innate problem? The fact is, he literally had 5 above average members just slapping him across the face. 2 of them hung like a horse, and the other one to block up the back door with Uranus. It's really frustrating to deal with overall when you don't have your own purple buff, and the opposing enemy's purple buff will remain uncontested.
They literally hung around Aurora's backyard, the jungle, and as early as 4 minutes, Demon Kai was already starving. And I know that we brought up the whole argument of, this is a different approach to it because they have a backup carry in the Claude. It didn't really make a difference.
Yeah,
Demon Kai was just as starved. Yes, he was getting away with a little bit more, but that's because, in my opinion, SRG let him. SRG was, we have a Freya. Don't worry about that Claude. Demon Kai will be fine as long as we're starving this Fanny. It's literally a 5v4.
Yeah, and to give Aurora a little bit of credit, it started off with Demon Kite stealing away the purple buff, right?
Yes.
And I was like, okay, that's a right call. But then it just goes to show how SRG sided the lineup was, that despite that trickery that Demon Kite pulled off early on to make sure, saying, yeah, I get your buff, everything is going our way. Wait, why are you going towards my jungle? Get away. He's like, they have nothing to stop them, man. It's just continuously beating down and bearing down on the jungle of Aurora. SRG gave Aurora zero breathing living room here.
A lot of it just comes down to like the way that they laid. And I love the fact that the adjustment coming in from Freya is, hey, give me vengeance and it's all over. What are you going to do? You're going to try and gun me down? We made mistakes in the earlier stages. The vengeance ensures that I live even if I get hit by the tsunami slam, which again, great adjustment. But let's look at our upcoming MVP, because let me tell you about him. SRG has been playing a phenomenal game, but without Cram not only dominating the lane, opening up the map, and just being the plug at the end of that flood. Oh my goodness, how do you get past him?
This is his hero. I think more than anyone in recent memory, maybe I'm thinking about Flap, M5 World Champion. Cram is Uranus. This is a hero that's built for what this athlete is really good at, and that is cutting lanes, going deep into your lines, going deep into your base, going deep into your formations, and just being annoying as hell.
Yeah. When Uranus can plug all entry points, it's way too difficult for Fanny to find any opening in the map. Even in those little team fights, Cram can just show up in front of close to Yue, and Demon Kite's wondering, is this still worth it to dive to try and retry? I don't think so. I gotta stay back. There's nothing I can do here.
This is literally one of the best heroes to cram your opponents with.
Yeah, no, really, just the penultimate rear end, as some may call it. And I think that, especially when we start looking into the highlights, we just have to keep in mind that shouldn't the heave be the answer to this? I mean, that's the truth, right? Once you have that Wishing Lantern, all of a sudden you lose a lot of that value from that Uranus because you just can't sustain through the poke anymore.
Yeah. But it never got to the point where the damage of Yue was terrifying. He got his Divine Glaive 10 minutes in. That was a Divine Glaive rush. But then as we saw, when you have a high loss with you, when you have the Phantom Steed that you can ride on, once the Glorious Pathway is down, they don't care about formation. They don't care about the poke. They'll be able to regain that health anyway through the team fighting that they have. Cram, of course, with the Consecration and how the Uranus just works with his passives, means he doesn't have to worry about health. He will regain it there in the end.
Yeah, by thinking, oh, the lantern should solve this, the glowing wand, if somebody somewhere built a dominance ice or a halberd, you're still just solving one part of the equation.
Yes.
That's literally just Cram, and I think that's how big of a game changer he was for his team. Again, in game one, he was on that Lapu-Lapu. If you overextended, it was so hardly punished. Here, if you overextended, I can just flicker out and then Consecration, do it again in 10 seconds.
And that's a really good point, because when we look at a lot of these fights, how exactly is Aurora actually turning it around on these base defenses and then losing the following fight immediately after? A lot of it is just posturing against your opponents. For SRG, with their lineup, they're not exactly like a tank. They're a little bit more flexible at taking those front-to-fronts from any direction in comparison to Aurora, where, I'm sorry, I am a tank. I must be looking at you to gun you down.
Way too tough. It seems like across the board, the adjustments that Selangor Red Giants did end up working for them. Let's take a quick look at Stormy. He didn't even need to build a Sky Piercer. He went full utility here. He realized, you know what, I'm not the cleaner here. We have the Leomord. I'm just going to play for the utility that I can bring. The anti-heal, the slight slows I can dish out, and then I'm going to be able to keep myself alive as well. The shield that she can get herself through the Juicin Crimson Beacon, the Spellvamp through the Ice Queen Wand, and even just rounding out the Clock of Destiny. Something you don't see a lot of Juicins do, but then it was just a little bit of an extra, you thought that they couldn't kill the other four, you also cannot kill the Juicin. It only died once.
It only died once, and because of the Juicin, almost guarantee a battle spell off of your opponent. What are you trying to do? Peel me? No. Good try. I'll lift you up, pull you back into my team, and then Leomord will do the rest to displace you. That's why you saw that Light was not getting into as many positions as he wanted to, mainly because I got to peel for somebody else. My life is a lot less worth it compared to theirs.
Now that we're putting the spotlight back onto Aurora, there is a glaring lack of vision for this draft. Again, that Fanny really demanded so much more control on even their side of the map. So if they did not snowball, this was inevitably going to happen, right? They were going to lose control of the map. They would lose their resources, and they could not check if it's worth going into certain parts of certain fights. That's literally the story. The only clapback that they found was inside their base, almost literally when they were kicking SRG out on the defense. So going into game number 3 here, if Aurora want to gain back a bit of the momentum, because again, even if they did win game 1, I hope that they should really consider and reconsider getting a little bit more of free vision. Just heroes that really can check bushes, heroes that can kind of make sure that the coast is clear, because here they weren't so sure if they were going to counterattack or be the aggressors.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of the free vision, but I'm gonna go towards the very simple MLBB math here. Maybe a little bit more damage early on, much quicker, would do really well. Theoretically, the Eve is not a bad pick with everything that SRG had, but a part of me is thinking SRG won the trade because it was their decision, juice in or Eve. They said, okay, we'll get the juice in because we know what we're gonna build around it. Well, if you see the juice and you know what's gonna be coming at you, I still wish they had considered the Lunox, or at least went towards the Lunox. Yes, there's a lot of dive, but we saw in game number 1, all of that dive was managed by the damage output of a Lunox.
Yeah, and I think the Lunox has a little bit more flexibility because RWM, you are a stationary target.
Yes.
The Brilliance, you can play, be a little tricky with it. You can stick your foot out, hope that maybe they paint you like they're French girls and decide, you know what, I'm going to take a full step back, gun you down, take you for everything that you're worth, and then send the rest of my squad to clean up.
Interesting decisions by these two teams for their drafts. After everything that we saw, do you think that was a little bit more of a draft? I don't want to say issue, but is it a draft focal point or an execution focal point?
I think it's both draft and something else entirely. It's a principle matchup. It's a dynamics in respecting what both teams bring in. Aurora knows SRG is very aggressive. Aurora knows that they like to fight. If they find themselves in a position where they can't fight back, that's already a non-starter. So think of how your draft will be able to fight back, and then you're off to a better start than what happened here in game 2.
We're going to talk a little bit more amongst ourselves about what potential drafts can come through, but now it's time to throw it on over to Rose with an interview with Solos. So looking forward to hearing from them.
Hey guys, Rose here, and right now in the M7 arena we have Solos, a former pro player from Malaysia, and of course an MLBB icon from Malaysia. Hi Solos.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
How do you feel in this arena in M7?
So far dia punya arena punya scene memang shock, fun. Dia bagi saya dia menarik sebab dia World punya ni kan tournament kan, so bagi saya best excited.
That everything's exciting, everything ecstatic, and of course because it is a world championship, everything is just super intense, no, Solos? Now talking about intensity, how do you feel as a Malaysian seeing that SRG is now playing in the upper bracket finals in M7? Because if we look at it, this is a history in the making. If SRG were to win this match, they are heading to the grand finals. And that's never been done before by a Malaysian team.
So bagi saya macam last time SRG, dia orang dapat nombor 3 kan. Jadi apa yang saya nampak daripada day 1 sampai ke hari ni, so saya rasa excited sebab saya tengok macam SRG ni boleh break dia orang punya record last time. So kemungkinan besar boleh masuk ke grand final, so kita harap SRG boleh buat yang terbaik .
He said that comparing SRG's journey in the M6 last year, he feels that this time around they have what it takes to enter the grand finals. You know what, Solos, compared to before, especially for you, right? You've been in the MLBB ecosystem since potentially even season 1 of MPL MY, right? How do you think the MLBB esports in Malaysia has changed and improved over the years?
So during saya punya scene memang banyak beza . Dia bagi saya bukan changes tapi dia ke arah improvement. So compare waktu saya dulu, kita tak ada sources yang banyak . Compare daripada sekarang dari segi interface, UI apa semua, dia jadi lebih mudah untuk bermain. So dia boleh main dari usia muda sampai ke tua. Dia mudah untuk main. Jadi bagi saya sumber ataupun resource untuk belajar tu dia banyak. Compare waktu saya memang dia terhad. Ini semua terhad.
Okay, now Solo said he's watched MLBB actually develop into what it is now. He's been playing since MPL MYSG Season 1, and right now we are in the M7 World Championship. Compared to before, there was not much resources available online, and of course the UI and the graphics, everything has changed. But of course it has changed for the better because now everything is practically available at your fingertips. If you want to watch a tutorial, all you have to do is just search it up, right, Solos? It's so much easier now. And of course, is there any shout out to the Malaysian fans watching right now? Because I see in the arena, there's a lot of Malaysians in the venue. But back at home as well, we have a very big M7 watch party. Anything to say to the Malaysians?
So buat fans Malaysia, teruskan bagi sokongan sebab diorang boleh pergi jauh ni. Jadi teruskan bagi sokongan, doa. yang paling penting sekali, enjoy M7.
All right, Solo say to everybody who's actually watching, don't forget to keep on supporting SRG because he believes they definitely can go for this M7. And of course, don't forget to keep them in your prayers. Thank you very much, Solos. I hear the Malaysians in the arena. And with that, let us enter the third game in this series. Who will take the win? There's only one way to find out.
Great to hear from Solos. And of course, there are a lot of our Malaysian fans in the crowd. So thank you to each and every one of you who flew out here to Indonesia to show your love for Selangor Red Giants. Equally also matching the support of the Filipinos in the crowd as well. But the SRG fans definitely excited about the results of the previous game. So let's go back here now to talking about what to expect potentially for the draft. Real quick, game number 3 should be a shakeup here because even though the Cloud was really good, I have a feeling that maybe SRG have already read into Cloud-centered lineups.
I think that Vengeance is such a deterrent because, like, how many times, like, if you really think about it, when can Claude really power through the Vengeance? Little to never, if we're really being honest here. And even with the Trinity build, you could see that Domeng was very hesitant. He noticed his health bar going down a little bit because of that Vengeance. He instantly takes the BMI back.
Yeah. So with one piece now to consider for the draft, mid trio already really good as well for SRG. I feel like we're going to need a little bit more time to think about this. So in just a moment, we're going to be thanking some friends. I got really lucky last night, by the way. Just wanted to share.
Really?
Because cards. Yeah, what were you expecting? Yeah, so of course we have our little collaboration through OnePlay, the official MLBB M Series tournament trading cards came out. Oh, you have a pack. You have a pack.
And I do.
You have a pack. Are we gonna open that pack? Should we open that pack?
Want to count down as I open this pack?
Okay.
All right. Give me a 10 count, sir.
All right, I'll start from 5 because that's all I know. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, what do you pull? What do you pull?
I have here, that is 10 from Zeta, a wild card player. We have, who's this? DFYGZ.
Oh, okay.
We have, that's Zing from CFU.
Okay.
He's got that cool treatment. It's foil.
Oh, that's a foil. I didn't get a foil from the ones I pulled. That's cool. Okay.
I think he could have made it to knockouts. Just close.
And fire.
Hold up.
It'd be funny if we get like a signed card suddenly.
I got Leon Esports Juviana.
Nice.
These are all wild card dudes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty interesting because this is a new way to celebrate esports highlights, man. I mean, the official MLBB M Series tournament trading cards which bring premium design and modern tech together. Available this January. Head to oneplay.com for early access or grab yours and hold a real piece of the M Series legacy.
Yeah, we're the ones that I pulled last night. I got Oheb, I got Kyrie, I got Yue, and I got Kazu. So I'm very happy with the pack I got. I didn't get any foils though. I wonder how rare those are.
Yeah, this is the first foil I'm seeing.
Yeah,
and
even the other packs that we opened in the previous days of the M Series, we did not get a foil.
Ooh, that's very nice. I like the holographic on that one. Again, many more to earn for anybody out there. So please pick it up while you still can. And honestly, I'm curious if anybody has a full collection yet.
I'm pretty sure someone already just got all the boxes, or I assume wherever factory they made it. I know I'm pretty sure someone already has it.
22 teams. 20 with about 7 or 8 players and coaches each. That's a full set, sir.
Oh, are the coaches? Do the coaches also have cards?
I mean,
I thought it was like all the players.
For sure, it's all the players, but again, you'd have access to them too.
Ooh, all right.
There are team cards.
Okay. By the way, I'm not going to be giving away anything if you give me packs other than my gratitude. So if anyone wants to give me packs